Thank you, AquaDoc, for sponsoring this video.
You just added a bucket of shock. Your test kit says your chlorine level's high, but the water smells awful and algae's still hanging around. You're spending a fortune trying to fix a problem that you can't even see. The truth is, it's not a chlorine issue, it's a math issue, and it's a health risk. What if I told you that strong chlorine smell isn't chlorine at all, and that a high chlorine level might actually mean your pool is dirty, not clean? Stay with me because I'm about to show you the one simple calculation that'll show you the real health of your pool and how to keep your water's immune system working 24/7. Your pool's immune system is based on 3 numbers, and if you're not checking all 3 numbers, then you're kind of flying blind. Free chlorine is our superhero. We commonly refer to it as FC. FC is the active working chlorine that kills germs, bacteria, and algae. And it's the only chlorine that sanitizes. For most backyard pools, you want FC or free chlorine to be at about 3 parts per million, ideally after heavy use at about 5 parts per million. To keep that free chlorine level steady, I use these 3-inch stabilized chlorine tablets by AquaDoc, today's sponsor. They dissolve slowly and consistently, maintaining a reliable baseline of protection day and night. Combined chlorine, or what we call CC, this is your villain in the story. CC, or combined chlorine, is chlorine that's already reacted with sunscreen, oils, sweat, or waste. These used up compounds are called chloramines. And that strong chlorine smell that everybody hates, that's actually chloramines, not chlorine. And that third number is TC, or total chlorine, and it's the simplest one because all it is the sum of both of the other 2 together. Here's a calculation that's going to tell you whether your water is actually healthy. Take your total chlorine, subtract your free chlorine. What's left is your combined chlorine. If your total chlorine is 5 parts per million and your free chlorine is 2 parts per million, that means you've got 3 parts per million of dead, smelly, useless chlorine. Here's the key standard to remember. Your combined chlorine should always be below 0.5 parts per million. Anything higher and your pool's in trouble. Your sanitizer's being tied up and your water is turning into a breeding ground for algae and bacteria. So how do you fix it? When your combined chlorine level is high, your pool needs an immune system reset. This is what most people call shocking. But here's what most people get wrong. To truly eliminate combined chlorine, you have to reach what's called a breakpoint chlorination level. And it follows a simple 10 times rule, which means if your combined chlorine is at 1 part per million, then you need to raise your free chlorine by 10 parts per million to reach the breakpoint. Anything less, and you're only feeding the problem and probably making it worse. Every product, no matter whether it's granular or liquid, is going to tell you how much chlorine it adds per 10,000 gallons. For example, if the label says 1 pound of the product raises 10,000 gallons by 5 parts per million, and your goal is to raise it by 10 parts per million, then you'll need 2 pounds of that product per 10,000 gallons. Pro tip here would be to always round up slightly. You want to guarantee that you hit that break point. And if you're using granular shock, make sure you pre-dissolve it in a bucket first. Now, here's some other tips for shocking success. The sun can actually destroy up to 90% of the chlorine that you add in as little as 2 hours. So shocking at night or at dusk ensures that your chlorine has enough time to reach that break point. And for routine cleanup between major shocks, I use AquaDoc's chlorine-free shock, which is also called an oxidizer. Here's the difference. Chlorine kills germs, but oxidizers remove chloramines, the smelly waste we talked about earlier that ties up your chlorine. These products are usually made from potassium peroxymonosulfite or potassium monopersulfite, MPS. They react instantly with combined chlorine and turn them into harmless gases. They don't raise your chlorine level or affect your total chlorine reading, and they free up existing free chlorine so that it can sanitize more effectively. You just need to follow the dosage chart on the back of the container for your own pool size. After you've shocked your pool, retest it the next day. If your combined chlorine is close to 0 parts per million, then you've reset the immune system of your pool. If it's still high, repeat the breakpoint calculation and shock it again. Pool chemistry isn't a mystery, it's just math. When you track all the numbers, free chlorine, combined chlorine, and total chlorine, you'll finally stop wasting money on shock and understand why your pool smells the way it does. If this video helped you, then hit that like button and subscribe to Clear Water Chronicles for more pool advice. Big thanks to AquaDoc for sponsoring this episode, and their products that I mentioned before are linked down below in the description. Using those links helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and remember, belly flops build character.